Good evening, good Shabbos, and welcome to this service. Before we begin, let me just share something with you that I shared with you in the weekly e-blast, which you all should have received by now. We have all kinds of wonderful Jewish resources online that are available for us to expand our Jewish horizons. I'm going to recommend one from the Hebrew Union College, huc.edu, and look down at all the offerings of classes, lectures, discussions, and even comments regarding the present situation. The other is from the Jewish Theological Seminary in New York, jtsa.edu, where again, public lectures are being made available to the entire world. Courses, discussions. I recommended one that we all see. You look at the e-blast and that maybe we can discuss in our class on Tuesday. So on this Shabbat, as we pause for a few minutes and are supposed to relax and catch our breath, let us begin with the singing of Shir Kadosh.
Sing unto God all the earth, I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and he'll all sing, all the earth a new song unto God. I will sing unto God a new song.
There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. We continue with the singing of Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashem, Malachei Yod. Yimelech, Malachei Hamelachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Malachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashem, Malachei Yod. Yimelech, Malachei Hamelachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Malachei L'Shalom, Malachei L'Shalom,
We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. We continue with the singing of the Baruch Hu. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due, now and forever. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidbaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokma poteach she'arim, uvitvuna meshane itim u'machalif et hazmanim, u'misader et hakokavim b'mishmeroteham barakia kertzono. Borei yom v'layla, goder or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Uma'avir yom u'mevi layla, uma'avir ben yom u'vein layla, Adonai tzevaot shmo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimlok alenu, le'olam va'ed baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. We continue with the Shema. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. We continue with, you shall love Adonai your God.
You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your strength, with all your being. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way. When you lie down, when you rise up, find them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be a
In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. And now, let us do what our ancestors did thousands of years ago as they passed through the waters and sang thanks to God for bringing them through the waters. Let us continue with Michamocha. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomrenu l'chayim. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and raise us up our guardian to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. We continue with Vishamru.
sod et ha-Shabbat לדורותם לדורותם.
Those who keep Shabbat by calling it a delight will rejoice in your realm. The people that hallow Shabbat will delight in your goodness. For being pleased with the seventh day, you hallowed it as the most precious of days, drawing our attention to the work of creation. We continue with the tefillah.
Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Satai Tiktok. Adonai na 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 Lu'iyakit Tehillatech. Adonai na 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 Adonai na 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 Satai Tiktok. Adonai na 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 Lu'iyakit Tehillatech. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Esav, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Ha'Giborei Ha'Yarov, Elyon Gomel Hasarim Tovim, Echanei Hakol, Bezoker Haskeavot V'Himot, Umevin Ulam Lefneihem, Le'an Shibur. Adonai, Magin Avraham, Be'ezrat Sarah. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה, רב להושיע מוריד אתה. מחיה חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחם רבים, סופק נפילים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים. Imanata lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol.
Atah Kadosh v'Shimcha Kadosh, u'Kadoshim b'chol yom yichalalucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Disturb us, Adonai, ruffle us from our complacency, make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness, and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. We continue with Ritzeh.
Baruch atah Adonai, she'atecha levanecha, v'yiranu. She'atecha levanecha, v'yiranu.
A prayer for peace. Grant abundant peace to Israel, your people forever. For you are the sovereign God of all peace. May it be pleasing to you to bless your people Israel in every season and moment with your peace. Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael, v'shalom. Let us continue with a few moments of private silent prayer. A prayer for those who are ill, for those who aren't doing well at this time. Misha berach avotenu ve'imotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, ve'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, hu yivarech et hacholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. Let us mention in particular Nancy Freund, Ruth Pegursky, Andrew Lerman, Eileen Egan, Joshua Harand, Katie Pastor, Trudy Caruso, Zachary Pastor, Douglas Baker, Rebecca Letkoff. And we pause also for a few moments to mention other names, say them out loud, of friends, family members, members of the congregation who could use an extra prayer at this time. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion, for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us all say amen as we sing together. And a special prayer for healing for all those who are suffering from the horrendous turmoil in this country and around the world at this time. We also offer a prayer of thanksgiving on behalf of those who are feeling better. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has bestowed every goodness upon us. May the one who has bestowed goodness upon us continue to bestow every goodness upon us forever. And let us all say, amen. A prayer for the country. Thus says Adonai, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of lawlessness, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. Share your bread with the hungry and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing and do not ignore your own kin. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in darkness. Let me share with you at this time a short reading from this week's Torah reading, and I am going to try to connect this to our present day situation. The context is celebrating Passover in ancient times. This is before anyone ever heard of a Seder. That came after the destruction of the temple. Celebration of Passover involved a Passover sacrifice, and if you were in a state of ritual impurity, you could not offer the sacrifice. So what did you do? And the specific case here at the beginning is someone who had just come in contact with a dead body that bestowed ritual impurity, and there wasn't time to go through the ritual of purifying yourself. I'm reading from the 9th chapter of the book of Numbers. Now there were some men who were impure by reason of a corpse and could not offer the Passover sacrifice on that day. Appearing that same day before Moses and Aaron, these men said to them, impure though we are by reason of corpse, Why must we be debarred from presenting the Lord's offering at the set time with the rest of the Israelites? Moses said to them, stand by and let me hear what instructions the Lord gives about you. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the Israelite people, saying, when any of you or your posterity who are defiled by a corpse or on a long journey would offer a sacrifice to the Lord, they shall offer it in the second month. Passover is in the first month of the year. In the second month, on the 14th day of the month at twilight, they shall eat it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs, and they shall not leave any of it over until morning, and they shall offer it in strict accord with the law of the Passover sacrifice. If a man who is pure and not on a journey refrains from offering the Passover sacrifice, that person shall be cut off from his kin. So it was absolutely important to offer the sacrifice, to celebrate Passover in that manner. But what if you couldn't? What if you were ritually impure? Or what if you were too far away? And the answer is you wait and do it next month. The second Passover, the Pesach Sheni. Now, let me give you the contemporary relevance of this passage. We never know from one day to the next where we're going to be with this horrendous virus, this pandemic that is affecting the entire world. When we first had to confront it, we didn't know whether we could have a congregational Seder. And not just this congregation, congregations everywhere. Some rabbis, and I thought of it too, figured if everything would be over quickly, we were wrong, all right. If everything could be over quickly, we would have our Seder 1 month later based on this biblical passage. Now, what else can we derive from this? We can derive from this that at certain times you can't do what you are supposed to do, but you're given a second chance, a second opportunity. And many of us who throughout life missed opportunities that we should have taken advantage of for ourselves or to help others, we take advantage of that second opportunity. If we didn't have the COVID-19 right now, and I would be focusing less on the pandemic and less on the social turmoil and more on the upcoming high holidays, I would have read this passage in the following way. Some of us make mistakes. Some of us fail to do what we're supposed to do, sometimes not because we've done anything wrong, but lack of opportunity. So God gives us the second chance a month later. May all of us who have missed an opportunity take advantage of that second chance that God has given us. And this is something we can read in our Torah, and in a passage that deals with sacrifices can find relevance to our lives today. Let us continue now with the singing of the adoration.
Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spread out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the
In nature's ebb and flow, God's eternal law abides. When tears dim our vision or grief clouds our understanding, we often lose sight of God's eternal plan. Yet we know that growth and decay, life and death, all reveal a divine purpose. God, who is our support in the struggles of life, is also our hope in death. We have set God before us and shall not despair. In God's hands are the souls of all the living and the spirits of all flesh. Under God's protection we abide, and by God's love are we comforted. O life of our life, soul of our soul, cause your light to shine into our hearts and fill our spirits with abiding trust in you. We remember the recently departed Ada Mae Abuza, Merrill Goldman, Danny Baer, Frida Shapiro, Douglas Gross, Ruth Perlman, Morton Skirbo, Earl Gordon. We remember all of those who died unnecessarily in the most gruesome of ways in recent days and weeks and years, and mention in particular George Floyd. We remember those whose yahrzeits occur at this time: Abraham L. Burke, Abe Kasdan, Howard W. Feinschreiber, Benjamin Gilfix, Sylvia Gould, Lillian Greenwald, Albert Hess, Lucille Lee, Regina Moyer, Arnold Rosen, Sam Wolfe. And we pause again, say out loud names of other people whose yahrzeits occur at this time. May their memories stay alive in our hearts, in our thoughts, in our deeds, as we continue with the Kadosh. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach cherutei v'yamlech malchutei, v'chayechon of yomechon of v'chayedachol Beit Yisrael, b'galah u'bisman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam ul'almei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'tromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'ytalei v'ytalal, Shemei dekucha brechu, le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiran v'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, uya aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May the source of peace grant peace unto those who mourn, and comfort the bereaved among us, and let us all say Amen. Let us conclude this service with the singing of Adon Olam. May God protect us from the pandemic. May God protect us from the social turmoil and lead us in ways where we can all live together in peace. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and protect you. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. May you feel God's divine presence within you always, and may you find peace. Good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.